Susie.
I'm Danielle.
I'm Julie.
I'm Bridget. And today we're making
Kimchi! Today we are going to demonstrate how to make Korea's national dish, kimchi. Kimchi is made from fermented cabbage with lactic acid bacteria and is traditionally made with different vegetables, including red pepper and spicy sauce. Kimchi is rich in vitamin A, thiamine, riboflavin, calcium, and iron. It ferments for a long period of time, often outdoors, earthen kimchi pot, commonly underground without a lid, allowing gases to escape. Can be kept for a long time and doesn't go bad. And now, Bridget will tell us about important steps to take to ensure food safety quality is met when preparing a fermented food product.
Let's start our kimchi process by washing our hands. Wash hands with warm running water for 20 seconds. This must be done before and after handling food, after going to the bathroom, handling pets, blowing your nose, coughing, and after touching hair and clothing. Fermented veggies can be safer than raw because the fermentation process kills harmful bacteria. However, food safety practices need to be followed, including washing the produce, any cutting boards and utensils, surfaces and containers should be washed. Unlike other vegetables, the Napa cabbage should be washed after cutting to ensure the cleaning of each of the leaves. By following these steps, you are practicing good food safety while also preventing the introduction of any bad bacteria that would disrupt the fermentation process. Since we'll be fermenting the kimchi in glass jars, it is important to sanitize the jars in which it will be stored. Place the glass jars in the boiling water for 1 minute along with the lids and the rings. Carefully remove the items from the boiling water and place on a clean towel and allow the jars to dry completely to ensure no water is left in the jars.
Today we will modify the traditional kimchi recipe in two main ways. We'll be making a vegan version, subbing the fish sauce for a sweet and soy sauce. Our second modification is perfect for the home cook, as we will prepare the cabbage to ferment using mason jars, as opposed to the traditional pots used to ferment kimchi outdoors and underground. We will also make our own gochujang, which is a hot and sweet chili sauce. The main ingredients in our kimchi recipe are Napa cabbage, green onion, and carrot, all of which can be found easily in most grocery stores. The carrot should be peeled and sliced very thinly, like matchsticks, in the julienne style, while the green onion should be roughly chopped. Put these ingredients to the side as we get to the next step. Be sure that when you're cutting vegetables, to have a good grip on the handle of the knife, that your fingers are tucked in, and that you are cutting on the flat edge of the vegetable to ensure its stability. Prepare the Napa cabbage. First, remove the initial outer layers of the cabbage. Once those leaves are removed, you can cut the core or the hard white end off of the cabbage. Now you can pull apart each leaf, and you will wash each leaf before preparing the cabbage for kimchi. Then, once all the leaves are cut, you will cut each leaf into 4 quarters. These quarters are now ready to be salted. All right, so now we begin the process of salting the cabbage. Begin adding salt to the leaves and mix thoroughly to coat. Then press down and let rest for 30 minutes. You can use gloves for this step as the salt can irritate your hands. The salt plays a crucial role in fermentation as it breaks down the cabbage and draws out moisture, priming it to be coated in the sauce we're about to make. Salt also favors the growth of more salt-tolerant beneficial organisms and inhibits the growth of unfavorable bacteria. The release of water and sugars also promotes fermentation reactions in the resulting brine, which increases the rate of the fermentation process. We'll let the cabbage rest in the salt as we prepare the sauce for the kimchi.
This kimchi recipe calls for a sauce that is originally made with fish sauce as an ingredient. To make this vegan friendly, we will home make a vegan fish sauce and use it as an ingredient in making the main sauce. To prepare this vegan fish sauce, combine 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1/4 cup of pineapple juice, and 1/4 cup of water. Put this aside until we're ready to make the rest of the sauce. And for the rest of the sauce, put 18 grams of peeled ginger, 45 grams of peeled garlic, and 1 small white onion into a food processor. A kitchen scale is a great tool to have for this recipe to ensure the proper amount of ingredients. And now for the hot stuff. Add 1/8 cup of red chili flakes. Pulse to combine all of these ingredients. Using a food processor will ensure getting a smooth, well-incorporated sauce.
Debout devant ses illusions, une femme que plus rien ne dérange. Détenue de son abandon, son ennui lui donne le change. Que retient-elle de sa vie qu'elle pourrait revoir?
Mixing it just to make sure that all of the larger clumps and larger pieces do get in and get chopped up right. So now she's gonna pulse again. Now add the vegan fish sauce that we made before. Give it a little stir, make sure it's well mixed, and add that into the food processor. And give it 1 last pulse just to finish it off. Right. Looks good. Okay. Because the spice of this sauce can cause skin irritation, if available, it's best to use gloves for this next step. While the cabbage continues to rest, combine the sliced carrots and green onions in a mixing bowl and coat with the sauce. Then stir to combine and set aside until the sauce is ready.
Now that 30 minutes have passed, we have rinsed the salted cabbage in cold water, drained, and patted it dry. It is now ready to combine with the veggies and the sauce to make kimchi. Now Julie will combine the cabbage, the carrot onion sauce mixture in a clean bowl, mixing well with gloved hands. Now we are not adding a starter here as one would do when making a bread or a kombucha, as there are natural components in the cabbage that allow for the fermentation to occur. Now she will incorporate the sauce with the veggies into the cabbage until well incorporated. We already have our jars that have been sanitized, ready to be packed with the kimchi mixture. Now Julie will begin by placing the cabbage mixture into the glass jar, ensuring the packaging of the contents so there is as little air as possible between each of the leaves. Now it's common for the kimchi to expand during the fermentation process. Therefore, you should allow for some space between the kimchi and the top of the jar when packing. This expansion is due to the conversion of carbohydrates to alcohols and to carbon dioxide under anaerobic conditions. Now you can unscrew the jar to relieve the pressure throughout the fermentation process when it does start to expand. And this can be done within the first few days of the fermentation process. Now Julie is using a wooden spoon to pack down the cabbage into the jar so that the liquid covers the cabbage and also it reduces the oxygen content between the leaves. Now at this point, you can cover with the sanitized lid that we did earlier in the boiling water. We've ensured that we have enough space here at the top so that if the cabbage does expand, it doesn't leak out of the jar. Now the jar, now that it's sealed, needs to be placed in a cool, dark place to ferment. And once that is done, the kimchi can go into the refrigerator. The fermentation process should happen for at least 36 hours and then go to the refrigerator. We do have a product that we made in the refrigerator that Julie will bring out. Now this kimchi has been fermented for about 4 days and sat in the refrigerator for 2 days. And there are many ways that you can enjoy kimchi on its own or on a traditional Korean dish called bibimbap. And here we'll place the kimchi on a bed of rice with veggies and enjoy.